How's it going, guys? Today is February 3rd, March 3rd, 2:56 in the afternoon. I'm going to be doing today's vlog on perfection or perfectionism. I've always been a person to try and be as perfect as possible in anything, and I notice it helps me in some instances and doesn't help me in others. And the places where it's helped me is like completing tasks, staying on top of things, trying to do things to the best of my ability because your name is attached to everything you do, and trying to do everything perfect. But sometimes it ends up slowing me down. The bad takeaways is sometimes it's prevented me from even starting tasks and prevented me from, you know, completing tasks as well because I felt like I couldn't do it unless I did it perfect. And I've kind of broke away from that because I believe that, and I'll give you a prime example, I believe that these videos are not perfect by any means. There's probably a lot more quality that could go into them. I'm just using what I have available to make these videos happen. But if I were to give into myself before when I would wait to buy like the best camera possible and wait to buy like the best lighting possible. But I decided to go with what I had because I feel like the information is more important than the quality of the video, if that makes sense. So perfectionism, it can be good in some things, but if you find that it keeps you from doing some things or from starting some things, then I suggest you try to tailor it back a little bit. I used to not get up from the table because that's where I do majority of stuff, like until I completed the task that I was working on. And now if I get an interruption with my daughter or family or friends or something like that, I got no problem getting up and then taking a break and tending to those people and then coming back and to where I was out or where I was at. Before I used to just be so focused on that, I would put on headphones and really not let anything bother me until I completed the task fully to the best of my ability. But sometimes I noticed that better quality work came out if I gave myself a break and if I wasn't trying to, be so stringent about the, guidelines that I self-imposed onto myself and my rituals. So again, perfection can be a great thing. It could also be something that hinders you or stops you from even starting a new project or a new task. And there's a lot of things that I've done in my life that I've tried to do as perfect as I can, and sometimes they don't end up working out. Regardless of how hard I try and how perfect I thought it was, person on the receiving end just didn't think the same. So that was, kind of one of the factors I put into play when making future decisions about trying to do everything so perfectly. It would always be more time consuming to do everything perfectly. And I feel like, why waste that time when I can invest it into other things? And that's not to say that I'm not giving my best effort. I definitely try to a majority of the time, but you can still give a okay effort and not be so perfect and still complete the task. I noticed that I'll give you an example, some college assignments where I really try to be perfectionist about it, I ended up getting a B or even a C on the project. And the other projects where I was, kind of nonchalant about it, didn't really give it my best foot forward because I was crunched for time or had something else going on, I ended up getting an A on those projects. And it's not, it was like the more I focused, that the less, my grade would be reduced. And if I just went with the flow, my grade would actually improve, and I wasn't it relaxed my mind because I didn't have to be such a perfectionist about it. And then my grade reflected a little bit better, which was more rewarding. It's very disheartening whenever you try to put so much perfection and so much time and effort into a certain project and to have it come back subpar from where you thought it was and you truly gave it your best. And then to have something where you didn't do it wholeheartedly or you just had other things going on, and then you get a better grade than what you had anticipated, just goes to show you that perfection isn't everything. And you shouldn't let it stop you from doing things. You can try to be perfect, and I know majority of people just aren't. And I mean that in a good way. So don't take it negatively. If you're a perfectionist and it works for you, then do that. I can just share with you my experiences as to what's worked for me and what hasn't, and what I'm currently using. I still try to do things in a perfect type of manner, but there's still some shortcuts I take that maybe the perfect person wouldn't take. But that's just after time and adjustment, and you learn how to clarify your priorities on a daily basis in order to do the things that you can afford to do perfectly, and then those that you don't have the time to do, you take shortcuts. But I've had better results from taking the shortcuts at times, and that's not to say that you should do it all the time, but it's just what's worked for me in the past, and I'd like to share that information with you guys. So again, that'll be it for today's video. Try to keep it shorter. I don't want to harp too much on the same thing. So I appreciate you guys watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. Still at 32, trying to get to 50 by the end of March, and I definitely think I can do it. And I appreciate the feedback you guys are leaving. I try to comment on every single comment that I get left because it's still not so many comments that I'm receiving. And again, I'll see you guys on the next one, and appreciate you guys who keep watching my videos. Thanks again.